And we should be live. Welcome everyone to another live stream repair. We've got 2 pods in today for repairs. First one's from Ken with no power, and the second one's from Craig with some bass issues. Let's see if I can't get my side cameras up here. There we go. Or I thought. Oh, why isn't that camera working anymore? There we go. And what about this camera? Why is that one acting up? There we go. All right, we've got all our cameras up and working again. Let's go ahead and open up our first repair for the day here. Here we are. Let's go ahead and remove that power cable. We won't be needing that. And right off the bat, I don't know if this was from shipping or if it already had this, but unfortunately it looks like there's a little bit of a crack on the top of the display there. So when we go to cut the adhesive and take this layer off, we've got to be real careful around that area so that we don't make that bigger. But, ooh, and kind of feels like the subwoofer's a little loose too. Interesting. Let's go ahead and plug this into power and double check our symptoms here. So yes, indeed, no response. And about 6 watts of power draw from the wall. So pretty typical symptoms for the most common failure mode with these HomePods that won't power on. That is that little diode there on the amplifier shorting out and causing our no power issues. So let's go ahead and crack this open, no pun intended, and see what's going on from the inside. We're going to start away from that crack, and then we're just going to try to keep this tool level as possible, especially around that area. And there we go. No extra damage done to the top there. So that was successful. Let's get the screws for the display out now. interesting, this connector was already halfway unlocked. The quality control of these HomePods is showing its true colors here. Let's get the frame out. Alright, I almost forgot to hook myself in here. There we go, and grounded. Got the logic board out. I was a little concerned at first with the crack on the display, or on the top touch cover, that we might have some damage to the frame or the basket here, but that all looks good. And this isn't like... Well, let me show you guys. It's like attached to the basket much lower than we usually see it. See how far down that goes before it's actually glued up there? There's a lot of slack there. Interesting. Let's get it removed. Yeah. Strange. You'll get a better look at that once we get this basket off, but there was a oddly low amount of adhesive holding that ribbon cable down. And it was placed in a strange location for these. Give me that back. Welcome to the stream, Martin. Sometimes they're rather difficult to unstick, but that's the first one I've seen be that easy to remove. You'll get a chance to see what I'm talking about here in just a sec. First we shall pry. Hey. And this one seems to be putting up a fair fight. Oh man, that one is tight. That one's not gonna fit in there, so we'll skip on to the next one. Good evening, Robin. Thanks for dropping by, folks. Getting some nice solid removal action here. Nice. Yeah. Let's go. Oh, I said let's go. Come on. Come on. Nice and easy now. You do not want to give up there. Haha. Easy peasy. Alright, let's see. I was kind of concerned that the subwoofer was wiggling around a little too much there, maybe indicating that it was a little banged up, but actually it sounds nice and sealed still, so that's good. Let's go ahead and get those screws out so we can take the subwoofer off. Ooh. All right. Let's peek the condition here. Voice coil looks good. Feels nice and smooth. Smells fantastic. And just looking around the rim here, don't have any bends or anything like that. So this is nice and straight and smelling fresh. Let's get these ring layers out here. Oh yeah, I almost totally forgot to show you guys. Look at how little bit of adhesive this was actually being held down with. And look at how, oh, no, the full bit of adhesive's on the basket there. They only just had it stuck down like on like a centimeter of it, if that. Half a centimeter, yeah. So, interesting. Alright, fingers crossed we don't have to fight these ones like we had to yesterday. Oh yeah, those are loosey-goosey. Nice. Let's get that power supply out. Free up that ribbon cable down there. And let's free this amp. It's so strange how we can have like these long spurts where we have no fights or fuss with those power supply screws, and then we'll have like a series of 2 or 3 HomePods in the same day that all have like issues with those screws like breaking off or getting stripped. Oh, Martin, trust me. I would almost go as far as to say most Americans would rather use the metric system and ditch the old American imperial system, or whatever you want to call it. But unfortunately, that's just not the way. Metric is just superior. Why don't we just Why can't we just... Alright. Alright. There's our diode. We've got a date code on there of 1746K. Let's get our heat warmed up. And while that's working, we will double check that this diode is in fact shorted. Oh yeah, at the very least, I've seen it as a very common meme in America to make fun of the fact that we still use the imperial measurement system and not standardized on metric by now. But personally, I prefer metric. Most people I know prefer metric, and it's just generally easier to use. Like, just there's really no argument about it. Yep, that diode is dead. So let's get it replaced. That's just the way it is. Alright, well I gotta be honest with you. I do have a ruler on my soldering mat here, so I've got inches on the top and centimeters on the bottom. And as soon as I looked at the centimeters on the bottom, I was like, no, that's like half a centimeter. I way overestimated that. But, nevertheless, it's way easier to look at a ruler with metric on it and say what a given measurement is versus looking at an imperial ruler and going, is that 3/16 of an inch, or how many of a fractions of an inch is that? No, none of that bullshit with metric. Alright, we're gonna cool this board off real fast in front of the fan. Actually, we're just gonna wave it cool like we used to. Yeah. Get that workout. I love how the hide user on this channel button is right above the add moderator button in the YouTube chat. That's a good design right there. Accidentally give one of the spam bots a frickin' mod permissions instead of hiding it, and then you don't notice. Hey Robin, thanks for dropping by. Have a great one. Alright, we're just putting our test parts on this amplifier here so we can confirm that it turns on and that it doesn't have any DC offset issues creeping up on them here. So, drum roll please. Yeah, we got power. All right, let's see what we've got. All right, so our base works. We've got essentially 0 DC offset. So this board is looking funky fresh and ready to reassemble. So let's get these test parts off and we'll put it back together, yeah? No. Here we go. Let's get nice and close. Get that ribbon cable reattached down there. There we go. Now we can drop that power supply back in. Make sure it's plugged in underneath. Plug it in on top. Come on. Get. There we go. Yeah, we don't want to torque those down at 5. That'll strip them out real fast. 4 is a nice upper level there, because it's all just enough to not over tighten it and strip those plastic threads in there, but it is still powerful enough to overcome the force necessary when they kind of bind up sometimes. They don't go in as smooth as they always do. And you're not cross-threading it, it's just weird. Another one of those inconsistencies in the manufacturing of these. But you can't dock too many points from them for that. It's no big deal. Oh, we got them all in. Alright, is that still nice and sealed? Yes, it is. Oh, come on, give it a little more beans. Yeah, that'll do. Oh, give that back. No! Get back down there. Yeah. The ring into the display seemed so hard to push in my case. The ring into the display. Alright, let's see if we got this guy working. Power, a few smacks, and there you go. All right.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
Aren't we all?
I'm having trouble.
All right, volume buttons check out. The sound checks out. This guy is fixed. Let's put that away. Reach on over and grab. Get out of here. Grab Craig's pod. Let's get their box opened up. I opened it upside down. Slide that back in there. Get this. Ooh, they got it from Buzz Buy. I love me a good Buzz Buy. I got my first HomePod from Best Buy, actually. Ring cable to display port. Sounds alright. No cosmetic issues to worry about there. Let's go ahead and update the text on our screen. Almost forgot that. Alright, so Craig's pod here has bass issues. Let's go ahead and power this on and take a listen for ourselves. While that's booting up, we'll go ahead and pull up their original email here. Let's see. I'm experiencing constant popping and no bass. Okay.
I'm having trouble connecting to the unit.
Alright, so the bass is dead completely at the moment. I don't hear any popping or anything like that. So let's hope for the best here. Perhaps a short on the amp that's preventing the bass from working. Hopefully not the worst case scenario, which is the bass speaker itself being fried as a result of too much DC offset there. Let's see, looking at the power cable, what was the grossest thing you got delivered? Like totally messy mesh or disgusting things inside a case. The worst pod that I've ever gotten. Let me see if I can find it on eBay here, because it was, oh man, it was rough. Nobody's actually sent in their own HomePod. That's been really gross. Everybody that's sent theirs in for repairs have been pretty alright. Nothing really that dirty. But if I go all the way back to my earliest purchases here in 2022, I think I paid like $50 or $60 for this absolutely mangled HomePod that somebody else attempted to fix themselves and didn't do too good of a job at it. We got it working again. But I think it was this one. Oh no. It's been too long. It's not up on eBay anymore. I don't have any access to the photos or anything. Oh well. But nothing that made me feel concerned about like my health and safety. We've never had anything that bad show up. Imagine a smoker's HomePod. I think I've gotten a few smokers' HomePods. And yeah, they basically have this like tan hue to them. But they surprisingly don't usually smell all that bad. And of course, they usually look pristine on the inside. Because these are sealed up fairly well. You can't usually get anything inside of them. So the only time you're going to end up seeing a HomePod nasty on the inside is if you had something like explode on the inside or you have water damage and it caused a bunch of corrosion, which I did come across one that I bought myself off eBay. Had no idea what was inside of it, but I think that's like my channel trailer or something, but it's in my YouTube shorts if you haven't seen it. Corrosion everywhere as a result of probably a large capacitor having blown up and leaked everywhere. Somebody said that they think it was just some sort of humidity or water damage that caused all those issues, but I personally think the capacitor blew up and leaked everywhere. Caused a whole bunch of problems. There we go. There was another one that I got. I almost felt like it came like it was being used in someone's barn. Kind of seemed like there was a bunch of bird poop all over it, but at first, and then on a closer inspection, it kind of just looked like paint all over it. Nice. Do I ever have a backlog of speakers to fix? No. I try to, and this is what I say on the website too, but essentially I fix everything that shows up the same day it's delivered, and then I ship them back out the next day. I want to minimize the amount of time that they are in my hands and my responsibility. So the last thing I want is to build up a backlog, because that could grow out of control real fast. Because there was that day a week or so ago where we ended up having 9 show up on one day, and I can't imagine a week like that backlogging up. But since it only takes around 30 minutes to an hour for us to fix each HomePod, we can manage to stay on top of the daily. Ooh, almost forgot one there. The daily grind. That said, next week I'm taking a bit of a personal break. I'm not going anywhere, but I am taking a week off staycation, and I'm still accepting HomePod repairs. I'll still pick them up and hold on to them, but I'm not going to actually be doing any repairs next week. I'm just taking a little bit of time off. It's been a while since we've had a break and no work. So I figured around right before the holidays would be a good time to do it. This one's coming up rather easy. Alright. The first reveal. Let's see if their speaker is still good or not. If I can get it unplugged from down there. Come on now. There we go. Oh. No bueno. See that? We want that copper color, and instead we've got that gnarly burnt goodness down there. Ugh! Oh, smells awful. Ugh. Ugh. Alright, well, we found one of the reasons why they no longer have bass. Let's set that to the side. And we need to continue further with our disassembly here. We don't want to just drop a new bass speaker in there and call it good. We need to find out why that bass speaker had a meltdown. And typically that is from too much DC voltage getting through the amp, because there are some filtering capacitors on that amp that are supposed to remove the DC voltage from the audio signal, and they tend to go bad. And when they go bad, they just pump that DC voltage right into the woofer and essentially cook it over time. And you get what looks like that in that poor little subwoofer. So let's get to the bottom of this. How much time does the electronic screwdriver save? Probably only a couple of minutes at most per HomePod. But when you add that up across multiple pods a day, multiple days a week, it saves a sizable amount of time. But I wouldn't say more than about a minute or two per pod. But it's not just necessarily about saving time with it. It's also just saving my hands. Like, it's not just about being lazy or anything. It's about making sure that my hands last as long as they can, so we can fix as much as we can for as long as possible without developing hand problems in the future. It's better to keep your stuff and yourself healthy while you are, instead of wait until you need it. So, upon first inspection, the resistor that we typically see blow out when we've got too much DC offset here, it's looking rather roasty. It was probably a day or so away from blowing out there. But we are going to replace that because it does not look that healthy. Even though, I bet you if we were to measure its resistance here, it'll probably measure within spec still. Yeah, we've got 20 ohms on there. So not... Oh, 15... Yeah, my meter's acting up, but we had about 15 ohms there, so it's still reasonably within spec, but it does not look very good, so we're going to replace that for sure. But that's not the reason why their bass driver blew up there. The reason why it blew up there is these 4 caps right here. Now, we don't know how many of them exactly. It could just be one of them, or it could be multiple. more than one of them, but we're going to replace all 4 of those there so we can filter our DC offset. I'm actually getting ahead of myself here. Before we do any repairs, let's go ahead and power this board up, connect our test woofer here to our multimeter, and confirm our suspicion with the problem here, and that is our guess being too much DC voltage from those filtering capacitors. So let's get some test parts on here. Okay, no fixes yet. We're just confirming our suspicion here. We want to, if we're correct, we want to see a high measurement here around a couple hundred millivolts or more. That'll tell us that those filtering capacitors are almost certainly going bad here. It's a relatively simple repair as far as like board level repairs and diagnosis is concerned, because if you see DC offset, there's really only one part on this board that's responsible for filtering that, and when you see it, you'll know that those are done. And you'll also know if you've got rather loud popping as it goes in and out of standby, or of course death farts. Those are all symptoms of potentially those capacitors failing on you and allowing too much DC through. But all of it stems down, or all of that comes down to those caps there. And oh boy, did you hear how loud that pop was? We've got 600 millivolts of offset, and it's growing rather quickly too. We're almost at 700 already. So that is a significant amount of DC voltage that those caps are letting through. So let's go ahead and do what we talked about here. We're going to first replace those filtering capacitors. That should get rid of that DC offset. And then we're going to replace that roasty looking resistor, which was an unfortunate side casualty to this excess DC voltage here. And then we're going to replace our Schottky barrier diode. That's the part that we replaced on the previous HomePod that wouldn't power on. This diode fails so often, even though we think there's just a bad batch of them within a specific date range, since we see them fail so often, we replace this diode on every repair, regardless of what they're coming in for. So, only takes an extra $1 in parts and a minute of our time for a little bit of preventative maintenance. So let's start with those filtering caps. Easy peasy. Alright, we're going to flux this board up without the cat hair on my syringe here. And then we're going to put some low temperature, low melt solder on those pads so that we don't have to torture our new capacitors as much getting them on there. Which, in my mind, should extend their potential lifespan here. Alright. Let's do this. First try. Oh no. Get back over there. Yeah! Beautiful. Excellent. Oh, that is fantastic. Look at those guys. Having a good time. Alright. Let's move our attention over to that roasty resistor. We're going to grab our makeshift heat shield here. That'll cover up our plastic connector and this tall electrolytic capacitor right next door. Put a little bit of flux on there. That might help getting it off. And here we go. Suppose I could zoom on in here. These can take about a serious amount of heat before they come off. There we go. Easy peasy. Let's stick that into the rip pile. Grab a fresh one. Get yeah. There we go. Alright, same deal. We're gonna put some fresh solder on those pads. And this diode, or this new resistor I should say. Looking good. A little more flux for good measure. And also kind of hold it in place for us here. A little easier. Oh, that thing is dancing. But in just a sec, it should. There we go. Pop right into place. Voila. Now, last but not least, let's get that diode replaced. If anyone was curious, it's got a date code on it of 1742K. So a little older than our usual suspect of bad diodes, but like I said, we replace this every time. Oh, sorry, I bumped into you guys there. Alright, we've got a new Schottky barrier diode on here to prevent any power issues from happening, at least the most common one that is. We've got a new 10 ohm resistor next to the subwoofer connector because the old one was looking rather roasty. And of course we've got new filtering capacitors on here which should remove that excess DC voltage which caused all these issues and is the reason why it was sent in. So, let's give this board a chance to cool off for just a second here, and then we will give it a test, see if we've still got our base, and if we have it without any of that excess DC voltage. Alright, that'll do. Alright, the moment of truth. Let's see what we've got. While that's booting up, I'll go grab a replacement subwoofer here since they clearly needed a new one. Here's a good one. Looks good, smells good, feels good. Good all around. Did we get rid of our DC voltage? Yes, we did. It's probably going to settle around 10 millivolts, I feel, or maybe it's going to hold around 7 or 8. In any case, as long as this stays below 50 millivolts, that's within spec, and that's all we want to see. That's all we really care about. And anything below that, you run no risk of any damage or, death farts and roasting your subwoofer and what we saw here today. So, let's go ahead and put this back together with a new subwoofer, and this one will be all ready to go. power supply time. And make sure it's lined up. Connect it at the bottom. Plug it in at the top. Let's jack that gasket. Nice and sealed. All right. All right. Let's see if we've got that working. Plug it into power, give it a few smacks.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
Aren't we all?
I'm having trouble.
All right. Volume buttons look nice and even. Siri's got her bassy voice back. And we've got everything that showed up today all fixed up without a problem. If you guys have any questions about any of the repairs that we've done here today or any HomePod repairs in general, feel free to leave a comment down below. If you're looking for more information on doing your own HomePod repairs, or you're looking for contact information to send me your broken HomePod to be fixed here on the channel, I've got all that information up on my website, nixfix.com. There's a dedicated section for the common issues that we repair and my contact info. Hope you guys all enjoyed this live stream repair.